Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today's model, guess who is modeling for us today? The celebrity Okuku stylist, Okuku Beauty Up. So if you don't know her, go check out her Instagram page at Okuku Beauty Up. She's my model for today. So first off, we started off by cleaning the skin, and I hydrated her skin with the Omaricode skin mist, and I tried this moisturizer. I've heard a lot about this moisturizer and I decided to try it out. It said it nourishes the skin, it replenishes the skin, and can be used as a skincare product because it contains the hyaluronic acid, which is hydrating. So let's check it out if it really serves what it was told that it will serve. And this is the skin after I've applied the moisturizer, and guess what guys, it really worked. The moisturizing ingredient there is superb. So I went ahead to use the Maron Skin Prep, and I'm using that just at a T-zone area. And I got this oil from Blush Beauty Cosmetics. It's a replenishing oil. It's very good, but for those that have oily skin, please stay clear from this. Okay, so I just use this oil to replenish our skin. So for today's video, I won't be doing a lot of priming. Then for the primer, I went in with the mattifying primer from L'Oreal Infallible Primer, and I applied that just at the T-zone area. So for those of my girlies that always comment in my comment section that, oh please can you do eyebrow before foundation, this video is for you. So I started off with an eyebrow and I applied the Gentle Dove mattifying primer on her eyebrow, and I went ahead to set with a setting powder so that I can have a dry brows and a smooth surface to draw. And I went in with my gel liner, which I lined first before filling the eyebrow. So I'm using a very small angle brush, but ensure before you start lining and filling your brow, make sure you take off the primers and the setting powder hidden inside the brow hairs so that they don't make your brows too thick. So use your spoolie brush to just brush off the hairs before you start lining. So to highlight the brow, I'm using the Nuban Beauty concealer in shade 043. I'm using that to highlight eyebrow, and I use the Younger Beauty angle brush. It's a very sweet small brush. To contour the head of her brow, I use this darker shade of concealer to do that, and I used 048 to do that. Then for the top of her brow, to highlight the for top of her brow to clean up my brows, I used the same shade of foundation that I'll be using on her skin to highlight the top of my brow. And now I am tinting the brow and also theming at the same time with the Nuban Beauty brow thinner. Then for foundation, I went in with the Vee Beauty foundation in shade Cameroon. So this foundation is just a perfect match. And for those of you that don't apply foundation under the neck, I don't know what you're doing. So make sure you extend your foundation under the neck to match with the neck. Okay, then after applying foundation, I went ahead to set the foundation with my setting spray. So I'll be doing a video on the difference between setting spray and fixing spray. I think that will be my next video. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, ensure you do so. In this place, we don't hide anything, okay? We teach. So subscribe to my YouTube channel and make sure you like this video. Then after applying setting spray on the foundation, I went to highlight under her eyes using the same concealer I used in highlighting her brows, and I left it for it to marinate into her skin. Then I went ahead to apply the blush from the blush palette, from the lipstain palette. So I blended the blush with the other side of the beauty blender that I use in applying a foundation. But by the time I wanted to blend the highlight, the concealer, it was already dried, and I have to reapply concealer to revive the concealer back, okay, to make it wet. So a lot of you guys would have forced yourself to blend and you start seeing patches. No, once your concealer dries up like that, reapply concealer on top of it and it will revive it. So I went ahead to apply a lighter shade of concealer just at the inner corner of her eyes to brighten her eyes more, and I'll be presetting her eyes with the Nuban Beauty powder in shade Cape Town. I used a powder puff, a triangle powder puff, to just press the powder into her skin in all the areas where I highlighted. So for our skin powder, I used a shade of a powder to dry up the foundation in the areas where I applied foundation where I did not highlight. So I just applied powder there, and you can see how softly my hands are with my powders, with my application. Then to bronze her face, I'm using the Fenty powder in shade 470. In fact, this powder, I don't know if I bought it for bronzer or I bought it for face powder, because I use this powder more for bronzing. Eh? So I don't know if I bought it for a face powder or for bronzing. So it just works for me for bronzing client's face. So I now apply the blush. I went in with the dry blush, and I'm using this small CPD blush just to add colors to our face. And now I will be blending the demarcation between our blush and our highlight, and I used a shade of powder from the powder palette to do that. Next is to moisturize the lip to prepare it for lip stain, and now I went in with the eyeshadow primer, and I'm using the benign eyeshadow primer. So ensure you blend your eyeshadow properly. So if your eyeshadow base is not well blended, you will have patches while doing your eyeshadow. So I started off the eyeshadow with the powder. I love using powder to start off my eyeshadow so that I can have a smooth crease, like a smooth surface around the crease. So I used that as my transition shade, and I went in with a dark brown from this Juvia's Place palette. So I just placed that at the outer corner of her eyes, and I blended in circular motion, okay, towards upwards the crease. Then I used this orange shade to blend between her brow bone and the brown, sorry. Okay, can you see where my brushes is? So I just applied the orange shade there and blended there. Then I went in with this a very dark brown, because this one was not dark enough, so I needed a dark shade of brown because I don't want to use black. So I just used that to um contour the outer part of her eyes more, because I wanted it to be more intense and, you know, more smoky. So I just applied the brown, and I went ahead to blend the inner corner of her eyes, because I'll be placing a shimmery eyeshadow at on top of her eyelid. Okay, so for this eyeshadow palette, it's basically not really an eyeshadow, it's an highlighter palette, but it serves as an eyeshadow also. So I just applied that on her eyelid, and voila, this is how it looks like. So to dust off the eyeshadow fallout, I used my setting powder, just a little, and I use that to dust off. Then I'll be lining with the black gel liner from Karite, and I use the small angle brush to just line our eye. So make sure you hold your client's or your client's eyelid or your model's eyelid. Hold it gently, don't blind them, please. So make sure you just hold it gently and line, but ensure that you're not opening their eyes too much to avoid hairs, a lot of hairs from going into their eyes, which might cause them to start tearing up. Okay, so just ensure that you hold the eyes gently and drag out your eyeliner just to wing it. Okay, so guys, me, I will still beg you to like this video. Please ensure you like my videos, share my videos to your friends, tell them that you have somebody that teaches and don't get keep. Okay, so if you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you have any questions you want to ask, don't worry, drop it in the comment section. I'll be here to answer your questions. So I went in to contour a nose, and I'm using the a dark shade from the powder palette to contour a nose. Okay, so I started off with the head of the brow and I dragged it down to the tip of her nose. Now I would now set. So if you notice, I didn't do this makeup the regular way that you guys do makeup. Okay, so you can do your makeup as you wish, but just ensure that you're doing the right thing and you know what you're doing. So the reason why I am setting our face now, like I'm trying to bake our face now, is just to snatch our nose. Okay, because our nose was looking wide at the bridge, so I just needed to snatch it. And I didn't put a lot of setting powder, I just used very little amount of setting powder and I pressed it into our skin. Then for our finishing powder, I went in with the Charlotte Tilbury powder just to finish up our look and take off the excess powder. Then I went in with the Zaron mascara to lengthen our eyelashes and also to take off eyeshadow fallout on the eyelashes. Then this is me using my chi lashes and I applied with the bond glue. So if you're in this part of the place where I am, you know what bond glue is. So to set a face to take off excess powders, I went in with the Omaricode setting spray. It's a matte setting spray and it vanishes powders, whitish powders on the skin. Then I further set with the Morphe setting spray also. So allow to dry not a bit before you start drawing lining your lip. So I cleaned the lip moisturizer and I lined with this brown gorgeous lip stain from Nuban Beauty. In fact, this lip stain, I love it. So I'm using a small flat brush to line our lip. So ensure you line your lip properly because it will um it will give a direction of how you want the person's lip to look like. Then I applied a very lighter shade of brown from Avour Cosmetics. I think that's 05 from Avour Cosmetics. So I blended it on top of the brown just to reduce the darkness of the brown, if my English is correct. So I went in with the pink shade in the inner part of her lip and I blended. Then I am trying this Miss Metic's cheek glaze. So I just used their small trial to try the cheek glaze and it's fine, it's good. Okay, so I just used my beauty blender. I first of all dissolved it at the back of my hand and I went ahead to use my beauty blender to apply it on her skin, and you can see the glow on her forehead already. So for lip gloss, I'm using Blossom lip gloss and I used a pink one, but I can't remember the shade. I'm so sorry, guys. So I applied a very little on the brown lip stain on my hand to gloss the brown part of her lip, because if I apply this pink shade on the brown part of her lip, is going to reduce the color. So for me to get that exact brown, I have to mix with a brown lip stain. Then to smudge under her eyes, I used a black shade from the Zikel palette to smudge under her eyes to give that smoky, fierce look. So I'm using a very small brush to do that. And now I went ahead to lengthen her under eye. So I just placed my hand below her eyes, and this is the final look, guys. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Bye, see you in my next video.